Hello, welcome to the weather update. It is 8:30, doing a little earlier tonight because I tried to beat the rain, but I kind of still got caught in it. As you can see, this is the radar, and we've got light rain, now moderate to possibly some areas of heavy rain across the area. You can see looks like there's some heavy rain over the North Shore there. Luckily, I just beat that, but I had to deal with some moderate rain coming here, coming back. And you can see this is all part of the system here. Look at this. It'll just blossomed up here. There's actually two pieces. There's this one, and then there's this one here. It's almost like two separate pieces, and that's the problem we're going to have for tomorrow, which we're going to talk about in this weather update. You can see here just lots of rain across the area. No lightning. I don't think there are any thunderstorms tonight. We'll take a look and see if there's any lightning reports. I don't see anything. No thunderstorms, just some heavy rain across the area. Another look at another radar here. Another radar site. You can see, wow, look at that blossom right there like that. That's bad. That's bad. So, yeah, it's really going to start coming down across the island. Look at that. Wow, that just blossomed like that. I mean, it's all this rain. It was like light rain, and then it just started blossoming within the past hour or so. So let's look at the satellite, and you can see, look at all these bright white clouds here over us. We'll pull this out a little more to do the eastern U.S. or get a wider view of what's going on. And here is that system, and you can see that feed right from the Gulf of Mexico right there. Draw it for you, right up from the Gulf of Mexico, right up the East Coast. So this is why we keep getting these soakers. The lows keep tracking over here. You have the parent low over here, and then another low that's forming like right over here, and it's just pulling up all this tropical moisture, and we have cool air at the surface. So what's going on is cool air is like this, and it's being lifted up over the cool air, and that is what's causing the rain. And if you're further north, you have snow. If we look over here again, you'd see, whoops, nope, that's not what we're looking for. Where's the radar? All right, radar seems to have disappeared. Where is it? Oh, it's on this one. All right. Oh my God. All right, Lightning Maps has just decided to go nuts. I hit back and look what it did. All right, I apologize for that little glitch. It looks like there are some thunderstorms over Florida there. We'll just have to do it this way. I was trying to go back to the radar page and show you again the storm system here. So here you go. And yes, there is, if you go north, like north of Newburgh, you do have some snow, interior New England, up into New Hampshire, Maine, and Vermont. If you're in Albany, you're getting snow as well. We're not going to see any of that. So let's go to the Weather Prediction Center's maps, and you can see here, it looks like it's got a triple point low over here. This is, big system over here, and you can see the rain and then snow on the northern edge of it right there. High pressure, and then, there's the next system that we're going to have to deal with on Wednesday, already in the southwest, that we're going to have to deal with. So let's go to the current conditions, and you see across the country, southwest, you've got some winter weather advisories in here. Looks like some freeze watches as well, wind advisories as well, and then going to the northeast, we got green. This looks like a coastal flood advisory, and then going further north, you get into the winter weather advisories here. So you have to go pretty far north to get into them, and then you go even further north than that, you've got some winter storm warnings where they're going to see more than 6 inches of snow. If you're in Albany, you will get a snowfall out of this. But for us, it's questionable. So let's take a look at what we got going on outside right now. And you'll see it's chilly. We've got northeast winds, temperatures in the upper 30s. So it's a cold rain out there. And there's a 48, though. You can see there's a little bit of warm air here on the east end. Look at that, up into 45. Over here at Block Island, and then look at this buoy right here reporting 55 degrees and the dew point at 52. So that's that tropical air that's being pushed out over the cooler air at the surface. Along the coast, it's being eroded faster. Inland, it's not. Obviously, if you go to the north, you'll see where it's below freezing. That's where the winter weather advisories are. So let's take a look. And we could look at. Well, I'm not going to bother looking at the highs today. Because, again, we really didn't see much variation in temperature because of all the cloud cover we had. Yesterday was cloudy. Yesterday we had a mostly cloudy day. We thought we were going to have sun yesterday, and it turned out to be mostly cloudy. As you see, looking at these this observation site. This is yesterday here. Actually, no, this is today. But January 21st, you could see ice slip reporting overcast conditions for most of the day. And because of that, the temperatures didn't really get that warm. Highs only around 40, so close to normal, but still above normal because the lows at night didn't get below freezing. So if we take a look at ice slip, you'll see that. We'll look at their statistics. So here we go. Again, clouds today. And yeah, pretty much gloomy weather. And if we take a look at some pictures here from last night, this is what it looked. This was last night, but you could see the cloud deck. And then today, just before the rain started in the late afternoon, clouds so gloomy. Even the ducks were kind of like not on the water. You could see they were kind of just. And then look at this. Do you see these Canada geese here? Kind of just have their heads in their necks and their bodies. Just, I mean, even they're depressed. I mean, it's unbelievable. So yeah, it really is. We've had so many cloudy days. It's just so gloomy. It's unbelievable how gloomy it is. So let's take a look at I guess I'm trying to think of what I should get started with. Yeah, I want to go to one to ground and just see how much rain has fallen so far. I know that it's probably not going to be that much, but there was an awful lot. Yeah, I would say just about a quarter of an inch of rain has fallen. So already lots of big puddles. I have a video that I put up in Mineola just showing you how fast it floods here. Like I said, the rain had just started, so you know why I hate the rain. Why I hate going out in the rain. If you have good drainage in your town, you don't have to worry about that. But I mean, it's one thing. It's like, oh, it's just a puddle, walk around it. But if you have what is a lake that is literally blocking your entire way, and you've got to walk in the street to get around it, I think that's a bit of a problem. All right, so let's go to ice slip statistics right now. And he says right here, warm moist air surges ahead of a system, leading to moderate coastal flooding, coastal rainfall. Right there. So let's go to the local past weather at iSlip, and we'll go over to the graphic too from the National Weather Service too. That's not what I wanted to put. Let's do the local. Let's try this one more time here. So we can look at iSlip and just showing you, even though the highs aren't that much above normal, we're still above normal. So the high was 41, normal's 39, but the low was 34. The normal low is supposed to be 24. So the average was 38. That still puts us 7 degrees above normal for the day. So it's still way above normal. It's going to be the warmest January on record. And we take a look at the amount of rainfall we've had. All right, 2.25. Normal's 2.67. So a little bit below normal, but I think we're going to be above normal with the rainfall after this, and most certainly after the next system that we're going to be dealing with here. Across the area. If you go look at the Weather Service here, they had a little graphic. Where is it? Where it went? Oh, here we go. Yeah, there's a little graphic right here. It says Monday system, and we could have wrap around moisture on the back side of it. And that's what we weren't expecting the last time. I thought, Monday it's just going to be a cloudy day. No, now we're going to have to deal with precipitation on Monday too. So let's first talk about this storm, and then I'll talk about the overall pattern, I guess. So this is this first storm right here. You can see here on the GFS. You can see it becomes elongated. Very rare to see the models do this. It becomes elongated and wraps the moisture around. So we have precipitation chances tomorrow, and that could put an end to, and it would really suck. But if it does snow in New York City and they measure it, that's going to mean that we're not going to set a new record this year, which we really should. We would be in the second latest snowfall if this were to happen. The question is how much cold air gets in the back. It's very hard to predict, but it has this low becoming elongated. So if we look at the GFS here, you'll see this low just elongating out, which again is very unusual. I've never seen it getting stretched back toward us, which keeps the precipitation chances with us. And if we were to look at the GFS, look at that, it has it lingering even till tomorrow night. So we're not going to dry out until well late tomorrow night. All right. We can look at total snowfall, and you see it really doesn't give us much of anything. And I really don't think we'll see an accumulating snowfall tomorrow. It's mainly going to be north of the city. But if you look at total accumulation, created precip, you'll see between 1.5 to almost maybe 2 inches, probably between 1.25 and 1.75 inches of rain will fall or liquid equivalent across the area from this storm. Now, of course, every model has its own opinion, and that's what makes this so hard to predict. We can look at the FV3, which is a higher resolution of the GFS. Only have 3 hours of that in yet, though, so can't really do that one. We can look at the NAM, which is the 18Z run of the NAM, and you'll see here, again, this is the rain going to continue through the night, little break, and then look at this, more rain tomorrow in the afternoon, and the NAM changes it over to snow. So you can see every model is different, all right, because of the NAM is going to bring it has somewhat colder air, but we're going to have periods of rain throughout tomorrow. That's right, folks. It's not just a rainy night tonight. You're going to have a rainy day tomorrow, possibly ending as a couple of flakes, which is going to be a real pain in the neck because I do have stuff to do and I'm going to have to deal with it. But you see here, look at the snow here. I mean, so it's actually developing some light to maybe even moderate snows on the back side of this, all right? And if we look at the accumulation here, total snowfall, you'll see the NAM actually winds up giving us maybe an inch to a coating to an inch, which would be enough to, basically have a measurable snowfall at Central Park. That is the question. Will it happen? Will it not? The NAM is the coldest solution on this. It's really hard to say what's going to happen here. Obviously, the NAM has a tendency to do this. It's one of its biases. But it has, it was, if we looked at earlier runs of this, it wasn't elongating out as much. So if I look at let's look at last night's NAM. You can see, look at that. It was totally different. It just moved the moisture out. Now it went along with elongating this thing like the GFS and most of the other models did. So that's going to mean the rain is going to linger tomorrow, and then, yes, we could see some snowflakes too. And it's going to be windy. It's going to be a miserable, cold, wet day tomorrow, unfortunately. So it's bad enough that we got to deal with it tonight, but it's going to linger into tomorrow as well, which really sucks. And if we look at the total accumulate precip on this NAM run here that we have, again, we have that agreement where I think we're going to see between 1.25 and 1.75 inches of rain as a result of this. So let's go now to the HRRR. Oops. All right, HRRR, which we have most of it in, so we can, use that. I know we're doing the weather update a little earlier tonight. But anyway, here is, again, this is the HRRR. Rain continues. Now, the HRRR is a little more optimistic with, actually, HRRR is much better than the others. I wish the HRRR was right because it does not elongate it. We just have scattered showers, light showers throughout the day, and just very light rain, basically possible. Not nearly as heavy on the back side as the other two models are. And the question is, which one was the more realistic model? All right, well, this is the zero. I'd have to pull this back and look at an old run from 18Z, and we'd have to see how it's handling this system. So this is the NAM. It's already a little light on the precip. All right. Now we look at the FV3, which is the GFS, and we again put this back to the 12Z run. You can see it's a little more realistic looking on the rainfall. All right. So we look at how it's tracking the system, basically. And that's how we do it. So, again, back to the HRRR. The HRRR has a different solution on this. And obviously, this wouldn't give us any we probably wouldn't see any snow out of this. It has probably a weaker system, and it's not as elongated as some of the others. It elongates it a little bit. The question is, will it elongate like that? This is very hard. This is very challenging. It's really hard to say. I really hope that we don't see the rain linger like these other models are suggesting. So but the HRRR is the odd one out because we have the GFS, we have the NAM. We can look at another model here. We can look at the Icon, I guess, if you want to look at the Icon. And the Icon probably does the same thing to some extent, though it does have the heaviest precip overnight. And the Icon just has light precip. Again, it's showing light precip. So that doesn't look as heavy as the GFS. So the Icon may be a little more like the HRRR, maybe in scaling back the amount of precipitation. But then we have the RGEM, which similar to the Icon. Now the RGEM keeps it around more, but it keeps the snow away. So yeah, you see that we have going on here. So it makes it very, very challenging to say the least. We can also look at the EC fast. Oh, it doesn't do that. All right. The European here. Yeah. This is the European. European also seems to want to linger the rain around for tomorrow as well. And it has that, well, it could be snow because you see that 540 line is to the south. So that would be the European there. But I don't think we get a total snowfall output on this one. We don't. Not on this site, no. So let's now go back to the GFS. And we have 6 frames of it. And we'll actually, when we get toward the end part of this weather update, we'll look at it again. This is the high resolution GFS, all right? So you can see that rain, heavy at times, continues through the night and lingers, all right? The rain continues. This is the wettest scenario right now is the GFS, and you can see possibly when you get one of those heavier bursts, and it's having heavy rain in the afternoon tomorrow again because it's got almost like a second low developing here. Again, you have warmer than normal water temperatures. That could help add some energy for a second low to form on this elongated trough here. And then more rain lingers through tomorrow night. Doesn't really wrap up until like 7 or 8 o'clock. And then it finally pulls out after giving us a soaking. And again, if we look at the total accumulated precip, you'd see that this is almost more like 1.5 to 1.75 total snowfall. Let's see what this does. Doesn't really give us anything. So I really don't think we're going to see a snow accumulation tomorrow. I think the NAM is the odd one out. Given the warmer water temperatures, given all the rain, given the ground temperatures, I don't really think we're going to see an accumulating snowfall. I don't think Central Park will register an accumulating snowfall. I don't think maybe isolated parts of Long Island, the North Shore, might get a coating. But I think it's mainly going to be north of the city. And that's because of the temperatures. So if we look at the GFS and look at the temperatures on the GFS, and we'll go with the temperatures on the HRRR as well, you'll see for the most part they are above 40, all right? And they don't drop until the mid-30s. We get as low as the mid-30s. That's still not below freezing. So it's really hard to get snow to stick if the temperatures are above freezing. And that's the problem we have right now if you want to see snow. HRRR, we got a lot more when it comes to the temperatures of the HRRR. And so let's take a look at this. So the HRRR is a little colder, as you see. Leaning a little colder, but still above freezing. So that's why I don't think we see the accumulation. I really don't see an accumulation, but we might see is just more rain, a cold rain with that wind blowing as well. It's going to be miserable to be outside tomorrow if that solution verifies. Again, the HRRR doesn't have it lingering like the other models do. Let's go back over here. And therefore, you can see its totals are lower too. But you can see the HRRR just has some very light precipitation. It doesn't have anything heavy at all over us. But yeah, this is a complicated scenario. But either way, you're going to have to kind of look in the morning and see what the radar looks like. And you'll have an idea of whether this rain is going to linger or not linger. This is very unusual. Like I said, I've never seen... The HRRR looks a lot more realistic. But when I go and I look at the FV3, this is now the 0Z GFS, but that's all we've got of that 0Z GFS. 0Z high-resolution GFS. But if we look at this... this looks really... I've never seen anything like this. I don't know why the model is doing this. The NAM's doing the same thing. This is the NAM 12. The NAM obviously putting the snowfall there. I think the NAM's got a bias with that. So I've never seen them. I've never seen a heavy rain on the backside of a low like that pulling east. So I don't know if I'm buying it. I really don't. And actually, if we look at the Weather Service forecast, I wonder if they're buying it either. So let's just see what the Weather Service is saying, because let's see what it says here. Rain likely before 1 p.m., then rain and snow likely. So they are starting to buy it. But it took them a while to come around and buy that idea. But I don't know. I've never seen it before. But then again, given the warmer water temperatures, we have more moisture to work with, anything is possible. So now that we've gotten this storm out of the way, and most of the storm out of the way, obviously we're going to have to deal with. It's not out of the way, but it's out of the way in this video. It's trying to, basically say, I think it's going to be a cold rain tomorrow, possibly some flakes mixed in the afternoon. But unfortunately, I do think it's going to linger around. And maybe we'll get lucky, maybe it won't, but I think it is going to linger around. Most of the models say that's what's going to happen. And given the amount of moisture we have to work with and the fact the low gets stretched out, even though I've never seen something like this before, hey, this is the way things are now. So let's go now to the North American view, and we'll go and we'll shift over and look at our jet stream here, and go into more of the longer range pattern outlook. So as we get into your as you get into your Monday here, you can see there's that low, there's that jet stream. All right, so you see there's a little trough there, but there's the next system that's going to bring us more rain on Wednesday, another soaker, and then you can see the jet stream really doesn't dive that far south, which means no Arctic air, and then it just wants to, and then look at what happens toward the end. It's trying to bring back the fire hose a little bit, so it's not very encouraging. All right, this is again the GFS. We can look at the European model, the 12Z European model, so we get a little more on it here. This is the European model, and again, yeah, there's that second soaker for Wednesday, and you can see we're just on the fringe of cooler air, just on the fringe of it, and it's not. There are a couple of chances to possibly for snow if we get some more colder weather in here. But let's go back to the GFS and let's take a look at your upper air. And honestly, the GFS is at a better record, so that's why I'd rather just look at the GFS. And that's part of the reason why I think it's going to be a soaker tomorrow, because the GFS says so. All right, unfortunately. So here's that trough for tomorrow, bringing us another soaker. One dry day for Tuesday, then here comes the next one for Wednesday. And you can see some colder air trying to get in, but then there's that ridge again in the east. And that trough just wants to keep setting up in the west with a ridge in the east. And then you got that troughing over Greenland. That's not a good look. And then there's that fire hose. They're coming back again for February. That's not a good sign. That is not a good sign. We're looking again at the 18Z GFS. So let's go now to the CONUS view, and we will now look at the surface. And we will take a look at the surface and see what it looks like. So here we go. Here's that soaker. That comes out of the way. Dry day for Tuesday. Then here's the next soaker. Maybe it'll start as snow. I doubt it. That comes through, dealing with another soaker. This is going to be an overnight thing, and hopefully it's out of the picture by Thursday. That's going to bring in somewhat colder air. A little clipper tries to come through. But then here comes the next system. Over the lakes again. No snow. Rain again. High pressure builds in, and then, I mean, there's no snowstorms at all in this forecast at all. So, yeah, this is quite unusual, to say the least. So let's go now and look at our temperature anomaly chart, because I have a feeling we're not going to be. It's just going to be more heartbreak for those people who want winter weather. Tomorrow, here we go. Temperatures above normal a little bit. Tuesday above normal. Wednesday, maybe getting closer to normal, above normal. Thursday, here comes that cooler air, that polar air that brings us closer to normal. Friday, here comes, that actually does look like some Arctic air, but here's the problem. Boom, it goes into the west. We got a big ridge in the east. All right, and then by the time it gets here, it's not that cold anymore. So there is cold air up there, and it's trying, but, and then boom, we're back into like the fire hose pattern here. You see plenty of above normal temperatures in the east. I mean, it goes right into the Midwest. We're just not getting any of it. You want bitter cold, you're going to have to go to like the Dakotas or even Oklahoma. But for us, no bitter cold. And, this is not good, because I know a lot of people hate the bitter cold and they don't like the snow. But if you love nature and you love the Pine Barrens, when you see this, this year is going to be the worst when it comes to the beetles. So there are going to be a lot of places I'm going to need to go to in the Pine Barrens, particularly on Long Island, because I think they're going to be gone, all right, unless we have some fires. That's the only way to stop it. So now, after looking at all of that, let's now go back to the Northeast U.S. and take a look at the weather for the rest of this week. All right, so let's go back to this one. We will look at the GFS again, and here we are. So here's Tuesday, dry day. Here comes the next system. It tries to start it as snow. I don't think we're going to see any snow from that, honestly. It's just going to be another soaker. Worst of it, it's going to start in the afternoon, and then we're going to have it through the night, and then it's out of here by Thursday. Friday, we get a break, and then a weak system, like a clipper system, comes through on the weekend, and here comes the next system that's rain. So you get the idea. We're going to look at the temperatures. We're going to look at the dew points and wind flow next. And we'll stick with the GFS on this, because I think the GFS has done a pretty good job with this. So you can see we're not really going to get into that moisture, but look at that offshore. look at that moisture offshore. So that is going to get lifted up over the cold air at the surface. That's what's going to produce all this rain. Storm moves east. We get onto the backside of it, northeast winds. But you see the dew points are even above freezing. So if the dew points are above freezing, how the hell is it going to snow? That's why I don't think we're seeing any snow tomorrow. They don't drop below freezing until after the precipitation ends. And then we see those strong west winds. And you can see strong winds tomorrow, too, as well. Strong west winds, breezy conditions. Here comes Wednesday, next storm system. This one's going to be a little more of an LLJ. We're going to see a strong southerly flow. Probably going to get into some warmth and humidity. A better chance of thunderstorms with this one for the Wednesday night and Thursday one. And then, boom, here comes another west wind. This is just polar air. This isn't Arctic air at all. In fact, no Arctic air. It tries to get close this weekend. We try to get into a little bit, but other than that, it looks like maybe the last day of the month, maybe it's trying to bring in a little Arctic air right there, and then, boom. It's just so close. We're not getting them. And look what happens. Again, another shot of heat right there. And again, we're just looking at winds and dew points. We're going to look at the temperatures next. So as we go into your Tuesday, your air temperatures, actually we're going tomorrow night. We'd start off Tuesday. Still not even below freezing. I don't think we make it below. I don't know when we're going to make it below freezing. Here we go. We haven't even been below freezing. Probably setting a record with that, too. Here we go. Tuesday, mid-40s. Not dropping below freezing at night. And then for Wednesday, that's going to be kind of chilly with the clouds coming in. We're going to have some chilly temperatures. That's why it's trying to say maybe a little snow to start. We'll see. I doubt it. And then here comes the warmth for your overnight. And then Thursday, temperatures drop. We have highs in the mid-40s. Then we finally see temperatures drop below freezing. That's right. We're going to have to wait until Friday morning. Temperatures in the 20s. And then Friday will be chilly, seasonably chilly with highs in the mid to upper 30s. And then here we go again, warming it up again for Saturday. Another little shot of cool air here, mid-30s for Sunday. And then we bounce back up. Here we go. Another warm day Monday ahead of the cold front. And then we drop below freezing. And then there we go. Another seasonably chilly day. Highs in the mid-30s. But again, you notice no real Arctic air in here. None. No Arctic air for us at all. We get no Arctic air at all. And that's a problem. So let's now look at the and I'm going to pull this all the way out, go all the way out, and see what this looks like. Because honestly, it does try to give the city a trace. But honestly, I don't see it. All right, so let's look at Wednesday again. We're going to go back to the dew points and wind flow. Let's go back to the dew points and wind flow here for your Wednesday. All right. East-southeast winds, east winds. I don't see snow with that kind of wind trajectory off the water temperatures the way they are. I don't see it. I don't think it. Maybe you'll see a flake, but I mean, I can't rule out saying a flake, but as far as accumulating anything, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I think we will set the record at Central Park. If we don't, it's going to be kind of messed up. That's the ironic thing about it, but we'll have to see what happens. But either way, no Arctic air. What about the sun? Because that's something that's been really hard to see lately. So we'll go look at the skies next on this sky model, and you'll see, here we go. Here is the RGM. Plenty of clouds tomorrow, obviously. Clouds don't break up until like after 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow night. And here's your Tuesday. RGM has a few cirrus clouds in the morning, but then it does have mostly sunny conditions. So maybe we'll have a mostly sunny day on Tuesday, possibly, before obviously the clouds arrive ahead of the next system and bring us the next soaker. FV3. All right, that's not going to be enough. We can go to the 12Z FV3 on the clouds. Here's the FV3 on the clouds. Obviously, stick around tomorrow. And then look at that. A lot of clouds. F2, the models don't agree. A lot of clouds to start on Tuesday, and then maybe a little bit of break. These would be more like high clouds. All right, so you can see the models are kind of all over the place on this. NAM. I've got to use the 18Z NAM on this. And you'll see here. Here's Tuesday. And again, it kind of has quite a bit of clouds, maybe a little less in the afternoon. But as far as Tuesday being a clear day, I don't have a whole lot of confidence on it. I think a partly sunny day is probably going to be more like what it's going to be. Hopefully, it'll turn out better than Saturday did. And then here we are Wednesday. I've seen the clouds. This is the regular GFS. Thursday would be our next shot at mostly sunny weather Thursday. Friday, perhaps. And then the weekend, maybe we have a little more mostly sunny weather before we're back. And we'll have to see what happens. Maybe some mostly sunny. This is like over a week now. I don't like going that far out. But hopefully we'll have a chance for some more sunshine because it does show some more high pressure building in as we look at the long range. I want to go back to the FV3 and let's go to the precipitation view and see how much more we've gotten here on this. It's not the one I want to use. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. All right, this takes us through a good part of Monday. So you'll see there's that the soaker continues. But you see the snow area stays to the north, but we're going to have rain for your Monday, I think, for sure. Unfortunately, it's going to be a rainy day tomorrow and then another rainy day on Wednesday. And then, like I said, we don't really get rid of this rain until we get some more high-pressure systems coming in right now. And again, there's that one storm there, showing you a little bit of a different view here. Here's the second one, and then behind that, we finally get a break in these storms, a little break before here comes the next one. And then this showing a bigger high-pressure system right as we end the month. And that could give us maybe we could actually string together 2 or maybe even 3 days without precipitation. Perhaps we can do that. So a few more things to look at here. Let's go to the 6 to 10 temperature day outlook. It has us in the near normal. You see where the cold air really is. In the upper Midwest, 8 to 14 day has us a little more below normal. The CPC is a little more encouraging than some of the other models, and maybe trying to get a little more cold air in. But I've learned not to get my hopes up this winter, the way it's been, unfortunately. The last thing that we'll do, we will check out what the sea ice is doing, and then that will be it for this particular weather update. So go here, and we will. All right, that's not good. Extensive melting in West Antarctica and the peninsula. That's not good, but I wanted to show you some graphs here. They haven't updated the last time we read this, but I will show you some graphs here. This is, we have 2 graphs here. This graph has us well below the mean here when it comes to Arctic sea ice, so this is not good. That's what I mean. We're warming the planet really quickly. This is one thing that you will not get in your weather report. Not even Joe Chaffee himself does this. I mean, I think he should, because I guess he doesn't believe in global warming. I don't know. I think he did vote for Trump twice, I think. Who knows? I mean, it's bad enough, look, a lot of us were stupid the first time, but the second time, come on. So you can see here, I don't want to call him out. He's a very good meteorologist. He just doesn't want to talk about climate change. I'm going to talk about it, all right? 22 to 2023, you can see. Look at that. We're at the bottom. So we're tied with 2021 as far as the lowest sea ice extent. So this is what I mean. As low as if we don't have enough sea ice, you know what's going to happen. That's an old one here. I'm not going to use that. But again, this is all December. I don't know why they haven't updated these images. Let's see. Is this one newer? All right, this one's newer. Look at all these areas that don't have sea ice here. All right. I think some of this is called the Barents Sea or something like that. And then you have a large area here. If you look down at the bottom of the screen here, you're supposed to have sea ice in off Labrador and stuff. No sea ice. Great Lakes obviously don't have ice. Looks like the Hudson Bay has frozen over at least. But, as we get less and less sea ice, I'll just leave you with this point here, that we get closer and closer to the Blue Ocean event. All right, and once that Blue Ocean event happens, that's when there's no sea ice in the Arctic. We'll have later and later freezing of the Arctic, and that is going to cause more melting of the ice in Greenland, which raises sea levels. So if you live along the water, this is a problem for you. And I mean those people on the South Shore who think it's not a problem and keep investing in the South Shore because of demographics, you're going to be in for wake-up calls. This keeps getting worse and worse. But hey, this is people in the United States, they don't want to talk about climate change. Other countries do in their weather reports, but no, not here, because we're just too far in bed with oil and Wall Street and all that other stuff. So that's going to wrap up this video, I think. So again, rain continues tonight. We'll look again at the radar here. We'll just refresh this radar again. And again, another soaker. What we're seeing at all is not at all normal. And despite what other people will tell you, this is all part of the changes we're seeing in our climate, for sure. And no, I don't think Central Park gets snowfall tomorrow. I don't think Central Park gets snowfall Wednesday. I would be surprised if they do. So, yeah, this is a pretty long weather update, But a lot to talk about as we deal with yet another soaker. And it will linger into tomorrow, unfortunately. I'm hoping it doesn't, but I think it will. So keep that umbrella handy, dodge those puddles, and if you live in Mineola, wear your boots. Have a good night.